Here's the big news, my friends, from CNN Politics. Trump signs executive order expediting marijuana reclassification after lobbying from the cannabis industry. Oh, boy. Now, it doesn't legalize marijuana, but it's reducing it in the schedule. So if you don't know what that means, Schedule 1, it's insane drugs. It's like cocaine and heroin. But now it's being moved off that list to Schedule 3, which is basically like testosterone or Tylenol with codeine, which is still a prescription thing, but it's not that crazy. Quote, this reclassification order will make it far easier to conduct marijuana-related medical research, allowing us to study benefits, potential dangers, and future treatments, Trump said in the Oval Office. It's going to have a tremendously positive impact. The order, which directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to hasten the process of loosening federal restrictions, but does not include a timeline, comes after an intense lobbying campaign from the cannabis industry. I've never been inundated by so many people as I have about this particular reclassification, Trump said. It's currently considered Schedule 1 along with heroin, LSD, and ecstasy, which are not considered of any acceptable medical use, according to the DEA. It will eventually be reclassified as a Schedule 3 drug, which, according to the DEA, has a moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence. The facts compel the federal government to recognize that marijuana can be legitimate in terms of medical applications when carefully administered. In some cases, this may include the use as a substitute for addictive and potentially lethal opioid painkillers, Trump said, calling the move common sense. I think it's politically very good for Trump and the Republicans. I'm not the biggest fan of marijuana legalization, although I don't think it should be Schedule 1. I think that if we enable mass marijuana across the country, I think you're going to get a lethargic population. You've already got a decaying culture. I'm still a little bit more libertarian on this one, so I think it should be largely, I guess, decriminalized. But I have concerns about what's already happening to a crumbling empire and society when we then throw pot on top. Mm-hmm. And then, what was it that South Park said? It makes you okay with being bored, and then when you get older, you'll find you're not good at anything. Yep. I don't think that's good for this country.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, I'm generally considered one of the resident prudes here at Timcast, so I have a disposition against marijuana generally, but I actually do sympathize with the argument being made by the Trump administration. Schedule 1 seems a bit crazy in many regards, putting it on the same tier as heroin and these sorts of things. I can be persuaded on sort of the medical argument. The more I learn about it, the more I'm like, okay, that does make sense in these applications, but I do share Tim's fears that obviously total legalization I don't think contributes to any sort of positive developments in the United States. I think the way things are heading in the United States, I don't know if legalizing marijuana en masse would really contribute to anything beneficial in any ways. I don't know. That's probably an unpopular take with the Timcast audience, but I do agree with Tim. I think you see like in the Netherlands where they've gone with full legalization, the pitch that was made to the Dutch people was, you don't have to worry about like adolescents, with their marijuana usage. But then as soon as it was legalized, it spiked dramatically among adolescents. It became very normalized throughout society. And then this became, I know the big-haired church ladies, they catch a lot of ire, but they're typically right in a lot of these things. It does end up leading kids, specifically kids, into a more hard drug culture. With adults, it's slightly different. But the priority here is obviously adolescents. So
I don't even think Ian smokes pot. Look at him.
Oh, I like pot. I do. It's just you got to balance it out.
You gotta be kidding me.
What a shock! It's potent. It's a potentially destructive and dangerous chemical, THC, especially when it's out of balance. Like a lot of the modern weed is like been cultured and grown and such that it's 27, 28, 29% THC levels, whereas it used to be like 13. Right. And then it's out of balance with the amount of CBD. So CBD is really the healing chemical found in marijuana, cannabidiol. I think it's how you pronounce it. I mean, they both have healing properties, but the out of balanceness makes people, I think, paranoid. They're crazy. They think too much. They're nervous. Like, that's not good. And it's very easy to overdose on that stuff, man. Like a puff, you don't really need a lot of that potent psychoactive to get the real benefits from it.
I don't have a particular strong argument against any of the points being made here, but I do think that it's worth noting a lot of states have decriminalized it now. And I think that because the states have kind of spoken and made it clear that the majority of the country wants it to be at least decriminalized. I do think that it's good that the federal government's responding to that. Now, again, I don't think that any of the points you guys are making about what it does to young people, about the ramifications of it are wrong. But I do think that if the states are going to say, look, we don't want to put people in jail and waste the resources going after potheads, I think it's good that the federal government's responding.
Well, you look like you smoke pot.
I don't smoke pot.
Oh, I was wrong.
But here's the thing.
Comedian doesn't smoke pot.
I like the government selling weed over people, in the hood. You know what I mean? Where I grew up, like guys would actually spray PCP on weed and sell it to people as a higher grade of weed. Whoa. And so, I know a few people that actually thought they were smoking marijuana and lost their minds after they smoked it. They were never the same. You know what I mean? So, I agree with the regulation on marijuana. If I was a guy in the street selling it, I wouldn't agree with it. But, I see the benefit.
I thought earlier today, something you kind of mentioned, Phil, is that this might actually free up resources for these guys to go after illegal immigration. Like, I wonder if that was part of the plan.
Yeah,
the issue is, to Phil's point, where it's like a state-by-state basis, is typically the pitch that's made from these state governments when they're trying to pass legislation to legalize marijuana is the pitch they make to conservatives who, are on the fence about it. They could be persuaded one way or another. Typically, the pitch that's made is, hey, this generates a lot of tax revenue for the state. We can start taxing marijuana. But the issue that we saw in Colorado is that they didn't factor in the social costs that would come with legalizing marijuana. So Colorado is a great example. They ended up finding that for every dollar of tax revenue that was generated from marijuana purchases, it costs $4.50 to the Colorado state government and healthcare, law enforcement, like education. The state has to provide education around marijuana. Proper.
Wait, I
usage,
take
these
it
sorts of
back. I'm
things.
for marijuana legalization now. I just realized conservatives aren't going to smoke it.
Yeah.
Like people on the right and people who are actually more studious, hardworking, and meritocratic, they're probably not going to smoke it. And then all these liberals are going to get high off their asses all day, and it's going to make them okay with being bored and not being involved in politics. So all these far left whack jobs will just be stoned and sitting on the couch, and then they'll get out of the way.
Fair enough.
That's probably the best argument I've heard yet. That's really
Yeah.
good.
Like I
Give
said,
the people what they want.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, this is something that by the Constitution, there's not really any kind of authority for the federal government to say you can't do this. It is a states' rights issue, in my opinion. And again, I'm not arguing with any of the points made about whether it's good for people or not. I just think that the federal government shouldn't be deciding whether or not people can do this. I think that alcohol is every bit as destructive, and the general consensus is people should be able to have a drink if they want.
Well, do you support the Maha regime?
I'm not typically a Maha guy. I mean, not that I'm against the Maha guys.
Yeah.
I just don't have any kind of let's
Well,
go.
because Maha is an indication of okay, we're applying regulation for the health of people.
Yeah, I mean, I understand a lot of the stuff that they're doing. And again, I was never I didn't come to
That's fair,
the
that's
right
consistent.
because
No, yeah.
of Maha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
I've been a right leaning guy for even when I was a libertarian guy. I was a right leaning libertarian.
Yeah.
And,
I mean that's consistent. Yeah, because I was if you concede that Maha obviously is within the realm of the government, then you would have to apply that standard to marijuana.
it
Bro.
doesn't really vibe with me.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh. I was I thought there's someone
Agreeing,
Someone behind you. It's the
another
same
tower
thing.
got hit. I was like, what?
agreeing the way potheads agree, bro.
What about the people in prison because of the old marijuana legislature? Do they get their restitution back? Or are they reimbursed for the time?
Nah, they get extra time. They get 10 more years.
Yeah.
No, I actually said this 5 years ago when Trump was running. I said he should pardon nonviolent pot convictions at the federal level so long as they weren't pleading down from a violent offense.
Yeah.
So the idea is Trump comes in and basically says, look, I'm the president. If you're arrested for distribution and there's no other, you couldn't have taken a plea deal, you're pardoned. Bam, rubber stamp. He would have won overnight.
Right.
I said he should have brought on Tulsi Gabbard. Look what he ended up doing. He never did this. I said he should have brought on Andrew Yang for economic advisor because that was huge with Rogan's crowd.
Yeah.
The UBI stuff, not that I'm a fan of it, but these ideas were palatable, and Trump could have shown a willingness to be bipartisan. But more importantly, the big point was, and it's funny because in the context of me saying 49 state landslide, I said if Donald Trump legalizes pot or vacates or pardons all of these nonviolent pot convictions, Landslide. 49 state landslide. He's gonna crush it. Look what he's doing now. These are moves he's making because we're entering a midterm year. So he's doing this, and he's doing a bunch of other things. He's doing that sporting event. He made Christmas now 3 holidays.
Yeah.
Was it 4?
It's New Year's, or it's Eve and the day after. So
Yeah.
Boxing Day. We now have Boxing Day.
Let's
in the United
go.
States. So these Brits are slowly creeping back in. What's
I thought-
going on?
Wait, it's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Boxing
And
Day.
after
the
Christmas.
day after
26.
Christmas.
Three.
Yeah,
3
yeah.
days.
I mean, look,
3 days off.
The left has got to love this just because of the fact that they like days off, right? Like
That's
they're
true.
looking to cut the work
That's very
week down
true.
to 30 hours. They can't complain about it.
No, I supported the day after being a federal holiday until I saw the British saying, "Oh, the Americans are getting Boxing Day." I was like, you know what? I'll work. That's fine. I'll clock in. That's ridiculous.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.